welcome to another episode of Inner Peace, Better Health. I'm your host, Arick, and today we have a truly special guest with us. Joining us is Mette Reebirk, an inspiring author and executive coach who has dedicated over 2 decades to helping experienced leaders realize their true potential and free themselves from anxiety. Her new book, The Tipping Point Life Force Comes from Questioning Your Thoughts, reveals how we can set ourselves free by questioning what we believe to be true. Mid, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Let's dive into a topic that resonates deeply with many of us, the power beyond our stories.
Yes, I'm happy to be with you too.
Can you share a personal story where you realized the power of the narrative you were telling yourself?
Uh, it started a couple of years ago, actually, because I'm an executive coach helping a lot of top managers, top leaders, and actually all of them on the paper very successful, but they were not very secure about that. So I started to wonder how come that someone who has built up a company, sold it, and
Yeah.
on the paper very rich and lovely family and everything, maybe wife number three, but anyway, um was not sure about his happiness. And then I also started to look into myself. What I have three kids, and I was always a little worried about them, even though that they are great kids. So I started to dive into this, thoughts and feelings. What comes first, and what is a thought, and what is an emotion? And so I dived into that and started to see that we don't have an emotion without a thought generated it. We have around 60,000 thoughts a day.
Wow,
And
crazy.
whenever we have, anxiety, feel fear, angry, shameful, all those feelings are created by a thought we in the concrete moment believe to be true. And then actually, maybe also because I had really been studying and doing some research on the topic, one day on my bike,
Mhm,
I actually got a little epiphany. I realized that when I believed my thoughts, I
mhm,
had problems with my stomach. I was
mhm,
not feeling well. But when I didn't believe them, I was pretty okay.
mhm.
So then I started to write my book. Um, and I got to see that, the reality that we believe to be part of
Mhm.
is created by the thoughts we have about reality.
Mm.
And that means that if we are 6 billion people on the in the world,
Mhm.
there is also 6 billion different, realities.
Wow, that's
We
crazy.
may believe that what we see, I look at a bottle, maybe you believe to look at the same bottle, but we do not see the same bottle.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
and when we meet people, when we are leaders and with our employees, a lot of stressful situations arises because we believe that we meet the other where the other is. But what we do is that we meet the other through the story we have about the other person, and that means that we meet ourselves. And because of that, a lot of misunderstandings arises, and a lot of problems, and that's a little sad because it could be different.
Mm.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you so much for sharing that with.
You're
And
welcome.
how can we create a new life experience if the one we are in now feels unkind or unfulfilling?
Um, Actually, it's very simple.
Wow.
Change your thought.
Change your thought. Is that
Yeah,
it?
that's
What if
it.
we are struggling with, what if we are struggling with a thought pattern that is just like, or a repetitive thought? What if we
Yeah.
are struggling with that and we are having a hard time replacing those thoughts? So how
You know,
address
it's
that?
also because you also need to be a little courageous. Very often, when we believe a thought, we have maybe believed in this thought, I'm a victim over many, many years. So to let go of that thought, then who are you then if you are not any longer the victim, even though that it may not feel very well? So start to become aware of what's going on within you. Um, you know, if I ask you now to close your eyes just for a small moment, close your eyes and be silent. Okay. I'm pretty sure that the moment I told you to close your eyes, it was a little weird. But
Yeah.
okay, you close your eyes. And then there was a little voice in your head saying, this is weird. And then maybe there was another little voice saying, oh, come on, be positive here. Huh?
Yeah.
And then to become aware of what's going on between those two voices telling you a lot of stuff, there must be a third one watching those two having a kind of a conversation. So when we become aware of, the dialogue we have with ourselves
Mm,
and what those voices are telling us, then we can stop up and then we can question whether what the voices are telling us, can that really be true?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't get a pay raise. Is that because I'm not very good? Can I be 100% sure that that is the case? Maybe not 100% sure. Okay, this is a small company, and I know exactly that we didn't earn much money last year. Okay, maybe that is the reason. Maybe it has nothing to do with me. So, but if we're not aware of what's going on, we will all the time react upon a feeling we have. I don't know where you have, when you feel uncomfortable, stressed. I can feel it in my stomach. Um, but
Yeah.
if we believe something to be true because we can feel it in the stomach, then we will do a lot of stuff to maintain this story because that must be true. I can feel it in my stomach. But the body is an incredible app
Yeah.
that is always telling us about the quality of our thinking. So whenever we feel uncomfortable, stressful, it's the body that tells us, okay, dear Mette, now it's time to stop up and question what you believed in the moment.
Mm,
And I can tell you that for my purpose, every time I get, a bad emotion and I question, I look into what is it that I'm telling myself.
mm,
But all the time, I can see that this is just pure fiction. I'm pulling my own leg. I'm
yeah.
creating my own nightmare. Not only one, but all the time.
Yeah.
And starting to become aware of that, I got to see that no one can harm me except me.
Yes.
So the answer to your question is that become aware of what is going on within you. Okay, I have this. My heart is beating fast. Okay, what did I believe in that moment just before my heart started and I started to sweat? Okay,
Mm,
what if, or so and so. Okay, and then you start asking yourself, can I be 100% sure that this is correct?
mm,
100% sure? Maybe not 100%. Okay, and in that moment, the feeling will start to vanish. So awareness and stillness. And also, because so many people are, living in a kind of thought that they are victim of something, either a bad chef, bad leader, or bad parents, or spouse, or whatsoever. And then it can be very, very difficult to get rid of that. Also because when you get to see that you cannot blame anyone for your, situation, then you have to kind of grow and take responsibility.
Yeah.
And of course, that that can be a little annoying from time to time. uh, but also it will set you free. You
Yes.
don't need to wait for anyone to make you happy, because that's on you to find that emotion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow, that's really awesome. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Ahmed. And finally, what message would you like to leave our listeners with about the power of rewriting their own stories?
uh, don't believe everything you think is true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I mean,
you
it's I think it's easier said than done. So how can they start this journey today?
uh, be curious about what's going on. Buy my book, read it. It's in English. So, no, actually, be curious. Start to watch themselves. What's going on? Okay. But sometimes, you have got so much used to having, walking around with this stone in your shoe that, you know, the bad has almost turned normal.
Mm,
Uh, but if you start, be curious about, is this really how life should be and how I should feel? Now I have been stressed and maybe, not been capable of working for I don't know how long. Is that really? And whenever I blame, my surroundings, it doesn't change anything.
mm,
Um, so okay, why not try to look into my own thinking? And then also a lot of people, they will become aware of that they are not speaking very nicely to themselves.
mm,
They are judging themselves. They are um, telling themselves that they are not good enough, that they're not pretty, too thick, too uh, whatever, not rich enough, not whatever. And what if we change those stories with another story? I'm good enough. I
yeah,
have exactly the money I should have.
yeah,
Uh, then what? In that moment, the feelings that you carry will change,
yeah,
and you will also look at the world differently. You will see many more opportunities, because you will not need to maintain a story that doesn't any longer, serve you.
yeah,
So you will become much more creative, innovative, curious. And curious people, they ask questions.
yes,
So life will become much kinder.
yeah,
And it's only one thought at the time.
yeah,
And it's not that you should try to, avoid thoughts, because they come and go, just like clouds in the sky.
yeah,
And when it's really totally clouded and you cannot see the blue sky, but above all the clouds. There's always a blue sky. And it's just like with you. You are not broken. You are okay. Maybe a little overclouded from time to time. But above all those clouds, all those thoughts,
Yeah.
there's peace, love, and when you become aware of that and get the feeling about it,
Mm.
then you will, carry yourself in life with much more ease and yeah, love towards yourself and towards the people you meet and surround you. There will be many less wars in the world, and we don't need more wars in the world.
Mhm.
So we can start with ourselves.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mid, for sharing your
No,
wisdom and experiences with us today. It's been an enlightening conversation, and I'm sure our listeners have gained valuable insights into the power of their own stories. So thank you so much for that. Yeah. And to all our listeners, remember that you have the power to rewrite your narrative and create a life filled with inner peace and joy. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep questioning your thoughts and embracing the journey towards better health and inner peace. Take care.